So, Bree, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I've always been into movement, I'll say. So whether it was dance or gymnastics or cheer or whatever it was, I've always wanted to be free and move around and be able to like express myself that way. So after I finished doing all of those things, I found myself wanting to express my way in a different self. And one time I had went outside and I put my feet in the ground and I just felt like my body like charge up almost like a tingling sensation. I was like, I wonder what this is. So one of my friends, she's into holistic health, and she had introduced me to basically the holistic lifestyle. So just living and being one with nature and your inner balance and really connecting within. So after I stuck my foot in the ground, I just had a special connection with nature ever since. And yeah, we just been tapped in, locked in since then. Holistic living is the natural way to live. So I wouldn't say hard, but I will say it comes with a lot of tough times if you don't have community or if you don't have a strong sense of self, because in the world we live in now, like you said, holistic living is not the norm. So we're used to living in fragmented parts of our lives. So living a holistic life, yeah, I wouldn't call it hard, but I will say like at times it gets really tough if you don't have people to remind you like this is natural. You're just going through a process of like relearning and re-understanding your natural self and forgetting everything that people have taught you to be or told you you need to be or what the standard is, and being able to like really tap back in with yourself and be in tune with your intuition. I graduated from Howard University with my BS in health science back in 2019. And from there, I was working with a Black women's health nonprofit called Girl Trek. They're the top Black women's health nonprofit nationwide. And in that space, I was able to explore what health meant to women who looked like me from birth to like so many different ages. So that allowed me to explore health in a way I've never seen before. Because in college, it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of experiments, you know what I mean? It's not like, yeah, we have internships and yeah, we go out into the field, but it's not a lot of hands-on learning. So once I got my internship with Girl Trek and then I got a full-time job after I graduated, I was able to really explore public health and like what it meant to be a Black woman in the United States or a melanated woman in the United States, and the things that we go through. While I was in college, I was always interested in health. I've always worked with younger women for them to explore themselves and help them understand their bodies and entrepreneurship and things that they like or don't like. So from there, after graduation, that sprouted into me working specifically at Girl Trek with the youth. So, of course, I've always had a love for the youth, but then I realized there was a lack of medical urgency, or like there was a silent crisis going on that Black women are dying during birth at abnormally high rates. I came upon a birth worker program and it was almost like perfect for me. It was a melanated women's collective birth worker program, and I was able to take it online. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, this is something that I want to explore, but I never really had the time to explore. So when I seen that, I was able to still work virtually and go back to school basically and become a birth worker. And I did that in the summer of 2020. So I went into practice at the beginning of towards the end of 2020. My first delivery was my godson, November 13th, 2020. And then I went into practice in helping people outside of my main community. So helping women give birth outside of my family or people I knew directly. I like to help people. So once I seen there was a crisis, I was like, oh no, I have to do something about this. And ever since I was younger, I've always been into really young people, like people younger than me or older people. Like I've always said I wanted to be a baby doctor or an elderly doctor. So that was my original plan when I went to college. I was supposed to go to med school, but again, with the holistic lifestyle, once I got introduced to that, I was like, I'm not with Western medicine. I don't really agree. So explored other options, was able to, honestly, Girl Check was a blessing because it was such a free space, you know what I mean? It was like a space where I was able to explore myself while seeing other women in the same space that looked like me. So the community, again, that's what I was saying earlier, a lot of this is hard to do without community and support. You have to constantly remind yourself, like, this is something that's beneficial for you, you know, something that you want, that is the best outcome for you. So that's what I wanted in birth work. I wanted every woman, every melanated woman, whether you consider yourself Black or not, to have a successful birth rate. Like, I do not believe that people should be going through traumatic birth experiences without knowledge. And that's what being a doula is, you know, telling someone, like, at the end of the day, you have autonomy over your body. No one can tell you what to do with your body. People might pressure you, or you might think you don't have an option, but you always have an option. You always have choice. And as long as you know that, then you'll have a successful birth outcome. Doctors don't believe us when we say we're in pain, or they don't believe, or they do believe. We have such a high pain tolerance that we falsely create these narratives, you know what I mean, that we're in pain or we're being dramatic or whatever the case is. That was one major red flag in Western medicine that I've seen. It's not holistic, so it focuses on subduing symptoms rather than treatment of a disease. They ask you basic questions, right? Height, weight, do you have any prior history of this, and that? But they don't ask you about if your great grandmother had this, or if, you know what I'm saying? They don't look at the whole picture. It's just about fixing or subduing, because it's not Western medicine, like, we don't fix anything. It's about subduing whatever's causing you pain. They want to relieve that as fast as possible, right? So they don't want to fix the root cause, because that's what makes them money. That's what put money is in big pharma pocket, is to constantly produce medicine that's going to lower whatever uncomfortable symptoms, whatever your body is literally channeling and signaling to you, something's wrong, error, something's going on. They want to subdue that. They want you to not know that something's wrong. And they want the medication to work temporarily so that you could come back. The most common doctor is a white male. And next after that is, I'll use the word ethnic practitioner, who's also a male. And then comes a white woman. And then comes everyone else. So not having that variation in people who are seeing you, that's supposed to have your best interest, that's supposed to want you at optimal health, right? Maintaining balance, optimal health, so that they don't have to see you again. People can't really relate, right? So if I'm talking to a practitioner and I'm saying something, I'm like trying to express myself, but they're not really getting it, they'll take a note, or they'll look it up on WebMD 9 times out of 10, and they'll see what can help you relieve your body signaling to you that something deeper is wrong. So the Western medicine system is built on using people experimentally and then coming to a larger conclusion that they feel like will suffice as what they say is treatment, but is really just subsiding and subduing the disease to a point where you can function in society, right? So they've done so many of those experiments. So what does that mean? They have to keep doing more to keep up with their methodology and what they believe in Western medicine, rather than it being based in, I don't even want to use the word cultural, but like traditional practices, like things that have been around for years. Not saying that technology is not our friend, but 100% technology without any human input is kind of scary. So yeah, Western medicine lacks a lot of communication. Howard has so much history as a college student, not just being melanated or not just being Black. As a student in general, there's been so much motion on Howard University's campus that you could just learn from. Like, there's so many people that come to Howard that don't even go to school and learn so much on a daily. So I think the access to all of that Howard has, the experience, the legacy, the culture, the embodiment of what it means to be at an HBCU, at a historically Black college university, what it means to be proud of where you come from and your traditions and your history and your legacy. So Howard really taught me that, like, to be proud of where you come from, to stand on what you believe in, and to constantly push the envelope, because if you don't push the envelope, somebody else is gonna do it. Howard's a family. Like, we're a community. Every alumni is locked in with everything going on campus. Like, anybody on campus can call an alumni if they need anything within their college, within their organization, within something. So the confidence in that is, again, like I was saying, Howard pushes you to be the best version of yourself all the time. Like, it's no real room to not be the best version of yourself. So the fact that we have a lot of people, like-minded people around us that is being taught the same thing, we kind of grow together. So it allows us to be close-knit in a family. And of course, when you have a community, you have confidence because you have other people that think, the same way as you. And if it's not exactly the same way, it's in the area of what you've both been taught. So confidence definitely comes from community when it comes to Howard, like family. Like, if people understood the fact that everyone could exist within their own right in the same space, then I would have no frustrations. But since people don't let me just be in the space, like in a shared space, 9 times out of 10, someone like comes and talks to me or will just keep walking by me, or like a lot of people do things to get my attention because I don't talk much. And that comes from not understanding that everyone's not the same. Everyone's not going to operate the same. Everyone doesn't think the same. Everyone has their own morals and values. So people not allowing other people to just be themselves frustrates me so much. Someone like me, I hate explaining myself. That also frustrates me. When someone asks me, like, why are you so quiet? Like, what do you mean, why am I so quiet? Or what do you mean, why am I so calm or balanced? Like, because this is how I operate in life at my full capacity. Like, you might be a chatterbox. That's not my superpower. That's not what, helps me operate at fully functioning Abria. So yeah, people not understanding like everyone exists in their own right. And if you would just let people exist within their own right, then everyone would have a sense of being this chill and calm and not irked and provoked and agitated. But I do find that being this way, people are intrigued. So I get why they want to do these things, but you got to think about it. If someone is being quiet in the corner and people always think that they're supposed to, that means that something's wrong, right? Because that's what we're taught. That's human nature, everyone should be joyous. Everyone should be uplifted. Everyone should be constantly smiling all the time. If not, something's wrong. And that's just false. Like, that's just a false one-way reality. And I just don't believe in that. If people would just also observe more than constantly wanting to interact, like, we live in a world, again, like I said, of overstimulation. So being from New York, I literally had to find quietness within myself. I had to figure out, okay, not saying I don't like New York. I love New York. I wouldn't want to be from anywhere else. But having this energy in New York is tough because it's constant overstimulation. It's constant people talking. It's constantly lights. It's constantly noise. So learning how to develop this within myself allowed me to exude this and, bring peace to other people. And yeah, but that's what frustrates me. People not allowing others to exist in their own right.